All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about what is, hands down, one of Python's most powerful tools, the dictionary. Seriously, if you want to level up your Python skills, this is where you start. So, right off the bat, let's see what makes dictionaries so special. If you're using a list, you have to remember, okay, the age is at index 1, I think? But with a dictionary, you just ask for age. It's so much more intuitive, right? It's how our brains actually work. No more playing memory games with index numbers. So what is a dictionary really? The best analogy is a real-world dictionary. It's a collection of key-value pairs. You look up a key, which is like the word you're searching for, and you get its value, which is like its definition. Simple as that. Now listen up, because this is super important. There are 2 golden rules for dictionary keys you have to burn into your memory. First, every key has to be unique. Makes sense, right? You can't have 2 different definitions for the same word in a dictionary. Second, keys have to be immutable. That just means they can't be changed. So things like strings and numbers are perfect. And this right here is a perfect example of why that second rule matters. If you try to use a list as a key, your code is going to throw an error. Why? Because lists are mutable. You can change them anytime you want. And that is a total deal breaker for dictionary keys. It's a classic rookie mistake, so watch out for it. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty and look at the stuff you'll actually be doing with dictionaries every single day. This is your core toolkit.
Check it out. The entire life cycle of an item in 4 simple steps. You create a dictionary, you add a new item just by assigning a value to a new key, you update an existing item the exact same way, and when you want to get rid of something, you can use del or .pop. It's all incredibly straightforward. But here's a trap a lot of people fall into. Let's say we have our student dictionary, but it doesn't have an email key. What happens if we try to access it anyway? Any guesses?
And bam, you get a big, ugly key error, and your entire program grinds to a halt. This is a super common runtime error, and it can be a real headache if you're not ready for it. But thankfully, there's a much, much better way.
Meet your new best friend, the get method. This thing is your safety net. If the key is there, great, you get the value. But if it's not there, it doesn't crash. It just calmly returns none. No drama, no crashes. This is how the pros handle it.
All right, you've got the fundamentals down. Now for the fun stuff. Let's dive into some of the more surprising and, frankly, kind of weird behaviors of dictionaries that you might not expect.
Okay, pop quiz time. I said keys have to be unique, but what do you think Python actually does if you try to create a dictionary with the same key twice? Let's take a look.
So look at this code. We're defining a student. We set the key name to Anita, and then in the very next line, we set the same key name to Ravi. So when we print this out, which name is going to stick, Anita or Ravi?
And the answer is Ravi. The rule is simple. The last key wins. Python doesn't complain, it doesn't throw an error, it just silently overwrites the first value with the second one. Good to know, right? Okay, ready for another one? This next one might just bend your brain a little bit. It gets into some really cool dynamic behavior that makes dictionaries so powerful. All right, pay really close attention to the order of operations here. First, we make a dictionary D. Second, we get its keys, and we save them in a variable called keys. Now third, and this is the important part, we add a new key to the original dictionary. So the big question is, when we check the length of that keys variable from step 2, what's the answer going to be?
And the answer is 2. Wait, what? How is that possible? We made the keys variable before we added the new item, so how could it possibly know about the change?
So here's the secret. Methods like .keys, .values, and .items don't just give you a one-time copy, they give you a live view into the dictionary. Think of it like a window. When you look through the window, you see the dictionary as it is right now. If the dictionary changes, what you see through the window changes too, automatically. And hey, while we're on the topic of cool tricks, here's a quick pro tip. In newer versions of Python, you can merge 2 dictionaries together in one clean, beautiful line of code using either the pipe operator or this double splat syntax. It's so much nicer than writing a loop. Wow, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's just take a breath and pull everything together into a quick cheat sheet with the most important stuff you need to remember. Here's your go-to list. .get for safe lookups. .keys, .values, and .items for those amazing live views, .update for merging dictionaries, and the super simple in keyword just to check if a key exists in the first place. Master these, and you've mastered dictionaries.
And as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this thought from the great B.B. King. Everything you just learned, every one of these little concepts, is now officially part of your coding toolkit forever. So I'll leave you with one final challenge to really lock in this knowledge. Given this nested dictionary, how would you use .get to safely pull out Ravi's science score? Think about it. What happens if Ravi isn't in the dictionary? Or what if he's there but he doesn't have a science score? Solving that is the key to writing really solid bulletproof code.